This is the story of a man of heart who came upon himself later in his life. His was a meandering path through barren landscapes, dense forests, and the highest of elevations. But steadfastly and with a faith beyond what he could touch or comprehend, he pressed on, one foot in front of the other, trusting whatever lay ahead. There were many that lit his path, illuminating his next step, urging him on, nudging him gently forward from behind, and calling him on from ahead, whispering to him of the beauty of his God-given life. There were moments he couldn't fathom how his body could carry all he was dragging behind him. But it did. Trusting that in time the load would lighten, he always overpacked. Taking everything with him meant he'd always be prepared for what was ahead. And if all else failed, he could cover himself layer after layer, like armor, while he silently and breathlessly shrank, hid, and waited for the threat to pass. His body was his armor, and his weapon was his words. He locked his heart away and prepared himself for battle, never knowing that the thundering footsteps of his enemy was the beating of his precious heart. As he lay exhausted from the fight, life picked him up and cradled him and whispered, "Don't give up." She carried him a while until the trees parted and the path softened and the breeze of love kissed him into submission. And as he stood in reverence at the magnitude and beauty of life, his heart cracked open and flooded him with love. This was his pilgrimage to love. He was a man of heart, a lion's heart that roared inside him, insisting on being heard. In time, the roar of his anguish was silenced by the roar of that lion's heart, beating proudly from his chest, reminding him in every breath of the courage and hope at his disposal. He had a deep love for nature, an echo to the journey he had traveled. It filled his spirit and his senses with its simplicity and grace and breathed life into him. It was always his way home. He was solid and steadfast, like the mountains that took his breath away and moved him to tears, and deep and still like the water he loved to let run through his fingers. Cold stone, warm sun, bending trees, they soothed his soul. He found such joy in his dogs, their loyal, forgiving spirits and devoted friendship. He loved to share the silence with them in loving gratitude for each other. He found purpose in standing alongside others, lighting their path and whispering to them of what he knew might be waiting for them to discover. He loved fiercely in his work and was of service to others, generous in his spirit. All the children gifted to him to bear witness to were his greatest teachers. Their vitality and sheer, unabashed life force hammered on his heart and called him out to play. They brought him lightness and laughter and chaotic, messy, glorious love. And he taught them about courage and risking being themselves in a world of expectations and judgment. Sadie, with your exuberance and care for others, he was grateful for the blessing of being a steadying hand, of sitting with you in your fear and panic until you found your breath again. Cheyenne, with your huge and caring heart, your hopes and aspirations, and your forgiving spirit. You didn't need a dad, but you let him be a friend, a guide, an anchor in the storms you're navigating. And dear Deacon, the son who was waiting for him to arrive, his mirror. He cherished your huge, generous heart, your walks, your hugs, your deep connection. And Ronnie, he's so proud of your fiery spirit and tenacity. And know that when he hears a certain song, he'll be doing the dance moves you taught him. The simple joys of toasting you a bagel or putting clean sheets on your bed gave him purpose and filled him with love. And dear blessed Liam, he cracked his heart into a canyon and filled it with beautiful, bountiful, endless love. He was your dandad. His proudest achievement. Seeing that precious, pure, expectant face break into a breathless grin, like a wave crashing into the shore, penetrated deep into his soul and burned his heart with love. His family was his homecoming, and he carried them with privilege and honor, just as others had carried him. Andrea, who held him in his darkness with her bold and fearless love. Tom and Alex, who shared their hearts and their home and loved him back to life and never let him forget his true spirit. The friends that spanned oceans, who he loved and cherished, laughed and cried with, however fleeting their presence. And his dear beloved Kimberly, the strongest, brightest spirit, who trusted him with her heart. You are a relentless beacon of light in this world and the epitome of love. You graced my days with your wisdom and generosity. You danced on my heart and tiptoed in the furrows of my brow and lay down next to me, patiently waiting when I lost my way. You're the loving glue that joined our lives and our family together and held it firm, never, ever, ever giving up. You are my return to love and my greatest blessing. Know that I'll be holding you when I'm gone, carrying you when you need it, and relishing in all that you are. And on the days you remember to sit down to eat, know that I'll be sitting across from you at the table, listening to the joys and sorrows of your heart, in communion with you. And at night, like always, I'll be closing the blinds, turning down your side of the bed, and holding your precious heart while you sleep. Thank you for all of it and all of you. My love, my awakening, my friend. On this pilgrimage, he found a way to dance with life, even when his body didn't quite know how to hold him. He found the music of his heart and soul echoed back to him in the rhythm of life and those who lived it. And this dance was exquisite, effortless, light, joy-filled. Let him take you by the hand and dance with you. A dance of love and faith and courage that will continue when the music stops, to the beating of your heart.